Hi and welcome to your second trimester active practice. My name is Tash and I'll be taking you through this class today. Now, the second trimester is often kind of called the best trimester or the honeymoon period of pregnancy. For me personally, in the second trimester, I really didn't begin to get my energy back until around about week 16 to 17, maybe even 18. So it's really important to know that as soon as the second trimester starts doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be full of energy and feel like your old self again. At the same time, in the second trimester, you now physically will begin to show that you're pregnant. So you need to allow room for the belly to move in our yoga classes as well. If you have found that your energy has lifted, then this active practice is a great one for you, particularly if you're used to being active pre-pregnancy as well. As always, it's really important to look after the body and just really listen to what the body and baby's telling you while you're practicing. You might even begin to feel a little bit of movement there as you move around, or little one might be lulled into a sleep from all the activity. So we're actually going to begin our practice today standing. So carefully, mindfully, bring yourself up into what we call Tadasana or mountain pose. And although we're beginning standing, we're still going to spend these first few moments connecting in with the breath, connecting in with little one. So I invite you to bring your hands over your belly, which now might be beginning to blossom as mine is. Standing nice and tall. If you feel like, instead of having the toes together and the heels apart, if you feel like it's more stable for you to stand with your feet a hip width apart, then that's what you do. Shift the weight evenly between the feet, lengthen the tailbone down, straighten up through the spine, roll the shoulders down the back, lengthen the back of the neck. And your choice, if standing and having your eyes closed doesn't feel good right now, then just having the gaze down. Perhaps even down towards baby, towards belly. I'd like you to begin to focus your awareness on drawing the breath into belly, down towards little one. You may have noticed that in the second trimester, having made it through the first, that your thoughts and feelings are a little bit calmer, less anxious than they were in the first trimester. Knowing that you and little one together are working on growing. So try and breathe that calm down into belly. Let little one feel your calmness as you fill the belly up with breath. Perhaps letting that small smile creep upon your face. Breathing into belly. Strengthening that bonding connection between you and little one. And then just let your hands fall down to either side. Roll the shoulders a couple of times. Let's do some arm circles, big circles. Breathing in, lifting up, breathing out, coming down and around. One more round in this direction. And then let's go in the opposite direction. Keep on breathing into belly. One more in this direction. And relax the arms, roll the shoulders. Alright, shift the weight into the left foot, make sure the weight's nice and even. And then we're just going to gently lift the knee up towards the chest, and we might need to open it a little way. Or you might even have the right hand on the right knee, left hand on the waist. I'm just gently drawing the knee up. Check out your balance. As we begin to blossom out, our center of gravity can change, so just allowing that to happen and just remembering that it's okay to wobble around. Trying to find your center. Slowly lower that knee down, and then we'll do the same on the other side. Just gently opening through the hips here. You might find that one side feels slightly more stable than the other. This is my more stable side, obviously. Gently lower that down. Come up to the top of your mat. So with our growing bellies, depending on what stage and second trimester you are, and if you're practicing with us in your third trimester, then you may be even bigger. But we want to give ourselves lots of space now. So there's always like a hip. The feet are always a hip width apart, and we're always kind of rolling the shoulders, creating lots of space, letting the belly be nice and blossoming. Go ahead and rock the weight back between the feet so that you feel nice and stable. Have a little softness through the knees here. Take an inhale, sweep the arms up. And as you exhale, bend the knees and roll on down into a forward fold. On your inhale, run the hand up the front of the shins, come into a halfway lift. So the back is nice and flat, back of the neck's long, pressing the sit bones back, shoulders drawing back away from the ears. Take another inhale and exhale, fold forward. Very carefully, shift the weight into the left foot and step the right foot back behind you. Now we're keeping the back knee lifted, so the right knee lifted, and we're making room for belly, so we're shifting the left foot out slightly and then lifting the chest and the chin. Now if you have a block handy and you feel like you need it for a little bit of height, then you could use that just to help keep the torso lifted and not putting any tension on these shoulders. So I want you to press into the sole of the left foot, squeeze the right kneecap, lift the chest and the chin. One more breath here. And from here we're going to press into the left knee so that we can peel ourselves up into a high lunge. So the back knee is going to be bent a little way. The front knee is going to be stacked directly over top of the ankle. You'll lengthen the tailbone down and gently try to draw the left hip back, right hip forward so our hip bones are facing forwards. And then if you like, you could add in the arms, slide the shoulders down. One more breath here. Go ahead and lower the arms down, lift the hips up, and then we're going to spin the back heel down. Bend into that left knee once again. We're coming into our warrior two pose. So lifting the arms up. And just settling in here, continuing to breathe nice and big. Keep settling into that front thigh. One more breath. On your next inhale, go ahead and straighten up that left leg, coming into triangle pose. So we're going to pivot the hips towards the right, reach through the left arm. So we're bending or reaching from this hip crease area. And then we're slowly going to lower the left arm down and lift the right arm up. Now again, if you do have a block handy, sometimes having it on the inside foot to rest your arm on can be a nice modification here. Find a comfortable gaze that feels good for your neck, so looking down, straight ahead or up. Pausing here for a couple more breaths. Next, inhale, you're going to come all the way up, squeeze the knees, press through the soles of the feet. As you exhale, you can gently lower the arms. I'm just going to spin around so that my back's not to you. So the feet will begin parallel, and then we bring the heels in, toes out. Your choice here, you can have hands on hips, you can bring hands into heart center. We're coming into goddess pose. So we take an inhale, lengthen the tailbone down. And as you exhale, bend the knees, lower the hips. So this is where we practice our breathing. Big breaths into the belly. Slow, controlled exhales out. Press into the soles of the feet. Feel the thighs engage. One more breath here. Full exhale. Big inhale, lift up. We're going to turn our feet back to parallel as we exhale. We're coming into a forward fold. So place your hands around the hip crease. So this is your waist, this is your hip crease. Take an inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, keep the back nice and flat. So stick the sit bones out behind you as you come down, down, down into your forward fold. Maybe release your hands to the floor. If you have a block, once again, you could use that for a little bit of height under the hands. But we're really just pausing here to take some big breaths in and out. If you lift your kneecaps and press through the soles of the feet, you'll keep the legs nice and active, so building strength through the thighs. One more breath in. Full exhale out. Go ahead and lift up to your halfway point. Soften the knees and then turn back towards the front of your mat. And then carefully either step back into downward facing dog. Or if you would like, you can come into plank pose. If you are coming into plank pose, then shoulders directly over top of your wrists, tailbone lengthening down. You're going to feel the core tighten up a little bit here, doming through the upper back, and your hips are lifted rather than sagging. So we want to keep the hips just a little bit lifted. On your next inhale, lower the knees down to the floor, and then exhale into child's pose, just for a moment. Big breaths into the belly. From child's pose, lift yourself up into downward facing dog. Take some nice deep full breaths in and out. Big breaths into belly. At the end of your next exhale, look forward, step up to the top of your mat. Keeping the feet a hip width apart, so we've got lots of room for belly, lots of room for little one. Take an inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale fully. Big inhale sweeps you all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So we're going to do the same thing on the left side now. Take a breath in. Exhale the breath out. Inhale, rise. Exhale, bend the knees, flat back, fold forward. Bring your hands to either side of your feet. Step back with the left foot. Widen the right foot out towards the edge of the mat if you need some room for your belly. Remember to use your block if you need to lift the chest and the chin. So we want to press into the sole of the right foot so that we feel that right thigh engage, and then press through the heel of the left foot so everything's feeling nice and strong and active. Breathing big here. One more breath. Place your hand on top of your right knee so that you can carefully peel yourself up into lunge. So remember, we have a little bend in that back knee, lengthening through the tailbone, maybe adding in the arms if you like. Drawing the inner thighs in towards each other. This just helps to anchor the lower body down. We're moving into warrior two, so you can release the arms down if you wish. Lift the hips up. And then carefully spin the back heel down. Positioning yourself into your warrior two pose. So your right toes are pointing directly forward, same direction as your right fingertips. Your left toes are pointing inwards just a little way. Your gaze is just following your right fingertips, maybe a point just past them. And your breath is deep, but trying to keep it as calm as possible. Last breath in. Go ahead and straighten up that front leg. We're going to pivot the hips towards the left, and then we're going to reach from this right hip crease. Reach with our right arm, and then gently drop the right arm down, lift the left arm up. Remember to use your block for support if you need to. This one can be quite nice too, just to have one hand on belly if you like, just to say hello to little one. Big breaths into that space. All right, take an inhale, press through the soles of your feet all the way up. Exhale the arms down. Turn the feet to parallel first, and then heels and toes out as you prepare for your goddess pose. So again, hands on hips, prayer pose. Again, you could even have hands on little one if you prefer. Take a nice big inhale, lengthen the tailbone down. Exhale as you bend into the knees, into the hips. Make sure that you can feel that power in the soles of your feet. Feel the thighs engage, and then breathe into the belly. Last breath, big breath in. Full exhale. That's it, big inhale, lift up. Exhale, turn the feet back to parallel. Hands coming into that hip crease area. Take a big inhale, lengthen. Exhale as you dive forward. Press the sit bones back. Keep the chest nice and proud. And then just let the torso come down between the legs. We're going to lift back up into our halfway lift. Soften the knees. Walk back to the front, towards the front of your mat. Either step back into downward facing dog if you prefer, or into plank. Holding your plank for 3 breaths. Lengthen the tailbone down, press the mat away, dome through the upper back. Feel the core tighten just a little. Last breath in. Gently lower the knees, rest into child's pose, 3 breaths. Alright, make your way back up into downward facing dog. Big breaths in and out. Hands at least a shoulder width apart, feet at least a hip width apart. Big breaths in and out. Easy gaze forward. Stepping up to the top of your mat, giving your belly lots of room by having your feet nice and wide. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Big inhale sweeps you all the way back up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a breath into belly. Lift it up into heart space. And then send that love all the way back down to little one. Close the eyes, take a breath. Blink open the eyes. We're going to do that sequence again. So take a nice deep full breath in, into belly, up into heart space, and then from heart down to little one. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. Go ahead and step the right foot back, nice and careful. Widen the left foot out to the edge of the mat if you need to, using your block or anything that's about the same shape and size as the block for height. Pressing into the sole of the left foot, pressing into the heel of the right foot, feeling strong. Breathing in some gratitude for having that energy back in the second trimester. From here, we're going to press up into our lunge by using our hands on top of our knees, bending into that back knee, lengthening the tailbone down, adding in the arms. Nice straight line from the knee down to the ankle. We're going to inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, spin the back heel down into our warrior two. And you're allowed to take your time as you settle into the pose. You'll notice that I fidget around quite a bit here and getting into my warrior two. Trying to keep that left knee over the left ankle, extending the arms to shoulder height. Keeping the shoulders nice and soft. Breathing big into belly. Next, inhale, straightening up that left leg, pivoting the hips towards the right, reaching from that left hip crease, and then slowly lowering left arm down, right arm up. If you do like that feeling of connection with little one, you can bring right hand to belly, give the belly a little rub. Go ahead and press through the soles of your feet. Take a big breath into belly as you lift all the way back up. Go ahead and turn the feet to parallel first. And then we bring the heels in, toes out. I like to have my hand on belly on little one. You can do the same if you like. Or if you're feeling really fierce, as you inhale, you could lift your arms up to shoulder height. And as you exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows. Very powerful pose and our full goddess pose. So you could either be here, 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 or as I like to, here. You do whatever feels good for you. Big breaths in. Feel the soles of the feet and their energy between the feet and the ground. And use their energy to activate the thighs. One more breath. Big inhale. Full exhale. Nice work. Push up. Bring the feet to parallel. Hands into the hip crease. Big inhale to lift, lengthen tailbone down. Exhale as you press the sit bones back, chest forward, coming down into your forward fold. And once you're in your forward fold, you might just like to kind of hang out upside down. Sometimes I like to walk the hands forward and then press the heart down towards the floor, and it's almost like a super wide down dog. Other times you might like to walk the hands over towards the right toes and then over towards the left. Just find something that feels nice for your body. Couple more breaths here. Lifting yourself back up to your halfway point, softening the knees, and then turning back towards the front of the mat, either stepping into down dog or into plank pose, holding either or for 3 breaths. Feeling nice and strong if you are in your plank, shoulders over wrists, tailbone lengthening down, kneecaps lifting, press through the back heels. Keep the back of the neck nice and long, last breath. If you are in your plank pose, then we're just going to press the hips up, sit bones back, and come into down dog. 3 more breaths here. Last breath in. Full breath out. Go ahead and walk yourself up to the top. Take an inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale fully. Big inhale sweeps you up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Big breath into belly. Back down to little one. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bent knees, flat back, forward fold. Careful step back with the left foot, giving yourself and your belly some room. Lifting the chest and the chin. Pressing into the sole of the right foot, feeling strong here. Alright, we're going to press onto the knee, lift all the way up. Settle into our high lunge, back knee bent. Long line from the knee to the ankle, adding in the arms. Keep lengthening the tailbone down, drawing the inner thighs in towards each other, anchoring down through the lower body. And we're going to do our little dance into warrior 2. So we inhale to lift the hips. Exhale to spin the back heel down. Landing into our warrior 2 and just taking your time. Nice straight line from knee to ankle. Press into the outside of the back foot. Try and keep the points of your shoulders over the hip bones. And add in the arms when you're ready. Keep that breath going. Big breaths into belly. Moving into triangle pose. As we inhale, we straighten up the right leg. We pivot the hips towards the left. And then we reach, reach, reach. Exhale to extend the right arm down. Lift the left arm up. Or maybe give belly a little rub. Remember to use your block for support on the inside foot if you need to. Press through the soles of the feet. Big inhale as you come all the way up. Exhale the hands down. Feet parallel first just to get your to feel stable and supported. And then shift the heels and toes out. I'm going to come into full goddess pose this time round. So I'm going to inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows. Settling down into goddess. So this is a powerful pose, so my breath needs to be powerful as well. So I'm going to breathe big into the belly. Lengthening the exhales as much as I can. One more breath. All right, big inhale up. Oof. Exhale the arms down, feet parallel. Hands wrap around that inner leg crease. Big inhale, lift. Exhale, press the sit bones back, chest forward, all the way down. Pause here. One more breath. And go ahead and soften the knees. Step back towards the top of your mat into either down dog or plank pose. Making sure your alignment in plank pose is feeling good. Shoulders over wrists, tailbone lengthening down, kneecaps lifted. Rounding through the upper back. Just looking down between your hands. One more breath. And then push yourself up into down dog. Take 3 more big breaths in and out. Last breath. Gently come down onto knees and let yourself sit back into child's pose. From your child's pose, go ahead and bring yourself into a comfortable seat with the legs extended. I recommend sitting on the edge of a cushion or a pillow, or even just a folded blanket if you have one. Before we come into Shavasana, I'm just going to take you through a twist. So bending the right knee first and bringing the right heel as close into the sit bones as you comfortably can. And we want to have the knee slightly out from the belly, obviously, to give ourselves a little bit of room here. And I like to have my right arm on the inside of my right leg, and I like to take my right toes. If it feels better for you just to kind of hug around the knee, then you can do that. So positioning the right arm, left toes pointing up, so left foot is flexed. You could even lift the kneecap of the left leg so that there's a little bit of activation happening there. And then bring your left hand behind you. Take an inhale, lengthen. And as you exhale, just gently twisting open to the left. Remember, we don't do any deep twists in pregnancy. We're just looking for a little bit of space for the spine. Easy gaze down towards the floor. And then just drifting back to center, extending the right leg. We'll do the same on the left side. So bend the left knee. Give yourself some room. Bring the arm to the inside leg, or just hugging around the knee if you like. Right toes pointing upwards. Lift the right kneecap. Right arm out behind you. Big inhale, lengthen. Exhale as you just subtly twist open towards the right. One more breath here. Gently come back to center. Extend the legs nice and long. Now we're coming into Shavasana. If you're in your first trimester but doing this class, then you may be still comfortable on your back with just some support underneath your knees. Anything from the second and third trimester, we want to be on our left side. So I like to use a cushion underneath my head and then a folded blanket between my knees for support. You may need 2 cushions or a folded blanket and a cushion underneath your knees. Just depends on how belly is blossoming. And just gently with care, bringing yourself down onto left side, finding something that's comfortable, closing the eyes over, maybe having right hand on belly. Take a nice deep breath in, filling up the space that little one's living in. And then just let the breath be natural and calm. Begin to deepen your breath once again, drawing the breath into the belly, observing it rise. Slow exhales out. Just staying here for a few beats, breathing in, breathing out. If you do happen to be on your back, then just turning over onto your left side. Using your hands to help, pressing yourself up into a comfortable seat. Using your cushion for support. Closing down the eyes, sitting nice and tall. Bringing your hands to rest over belly. Perhaps even making just little soothing circle motions around belly. Breathing big, drawing the breath down into belly. Maybe then lifting the breath to the chest, all the way up to heart space. And sending that breath and love back down to little one. Bring your hands over belly. Continue to breathe into your belly, drawing the breath, filling the belly up like a balloon, and using that same breath to roll up into the chest to the heart space. So it's almost like a wave of breath into belly, rolling up into heart space, and then exhaling the breath out. Adding to this now, as we inhale, we fill the belly like a balloon. We roll that same inhale up into heart space. And as we exhale the breath out, we silently say to little one, I love you. Inhale, fill the belly. Roll the breath up into heart space. Exhale the breath out. I love you. Keep on going in your own time. You can say the words either out loud or just silently to little one. Maybe letting a small smile form on the face. Inhale to belly. Roll that breath like a wave up into heart space. Feel the chest rise. Exhale the breath out. Down to little one, I love you. Bring your hands together. Palms pressing, thumbs lightly pressing against the heart, chin to chest. Give yourself a smile for your practice today. Offering gratitude to your wise body. Sending some love down to little one. Namaste. Well done.